Hello. Sige po. Yan. So again, good afternoon po. So, ang last na topic po na part po ng first exam is itong sa experimental designs. So in this chapter, we will be discussing experimental designs, completely randomized design, randomized complete block design, and some factorial experiments, and then yung analysis of repeated measures. All with application using R. So first, let's introduce experimental designs. So ito ay isang structured plan for assigning treatments to experimental units and collecting data in a way that allows valid and objective conclusion. So ang purpose ng experimental design is to control the variation, ensure unbiased estimates of treatment effects, maximize precision and efficiency, and allows for valid statistical inference. So here are some of the key concepts in experimental design. So first, we have the experimental unit. Ito yung smallest division na experimental material to which a treatment is independently applied, like plot of land in agricultural experiment, fish sa mga fisheries experiment, and etc. And then for treatment, ito naman yung condition or intervention applied to an experimental unit. Yung mga ina-apply natin sa mga experimental unit na gusto nating i-test. Like for example, yung effect ng different types of fertilizer, mga different dosage ng drugs, and sa teaching naman yung mga different teaching methods. Next, we have factors and levels. So ito ay variable naman under study that can affect the outcome. Like for example, fertilizer type. And then yung level naman, ito yung different categories or values of a factor. Like for example, organic or inorganic. And then yung response variable, ito yung outcome na gusto nating, ito yung, kung sa modeling, ito yung dependent variable or yung Y natin. Like for example, yung crop yield, test scores, blood pressures, and in experimental design, our Y should be continuous variable. And our independent variables or X are all categorical variable. And then yung replication, ito yung kung ilang beses nating i-repeat yung experiment para i-increase yung precision and ma-reduce yung variability. And then yung randomization naman, ito yung pag-a-assign natin ng treatment sa kada experimental unit. Kailangan random siya to remove yung bias or limit yung bias. And then blocking, ito naman yung grouping of similar experimental units para i-reduce yung variability and i-isolate yung ating mga treatment effects into a particular group. And then error term, ito naman yung variation sa response variable that cannot be explained by our treatments or known factors. So here are some tools for developing experimental design. So ito yung tatlo. So randomization, replication, and error control. So sa randomization, it involves the allocation of treatment to experimental units at random para i-avoid yung bias sa experiment natin resulting from influence of some extraneous unknown factor that may affect the experiment. Like for example, kapag meron kang sample size na 15, tapos meron kang tatlong treatments na iti-test, so pwedeng equal allocation siya, di ba po? So, tagpa 5 kada treatment. So, yung pag-a-assign mo ng 5 is kailangan random siya across sa experimental unit natin. So, yun yung isang palaging requirement kasi rin ng statistical inference in experimental designs. Dapat yung pagsiselect natin ng experimental units sa bawat treatment ay randomly selected. Though may ibang mga analysis na so equal yung allocation, pero yung pagsiset mo ng mga experimental units na ipapasok mo sa treatments at blocking, random pa rin yung pagsiselect. And then yung replication, ito yung repetition of an experiment or more than one subject. So samples should be large enough so that the erratic behavior that is characteristic of very small samples will not disguise the true effect of different treatments. Ito yung number of experimental units na ilalagay natin sa bawat treatment. Sa mga nababasa ko, ang sinasabi po is more than 3 replications is enough. Pero depende pa rin yan sa experiment or research na kinakandak natin. And then error control, ito naman yung magko-control ng variability among experimental units due to the inherent variability existing in the experimental materials. So, just like other statistical analysis, like regression, nag-a-allow tayo ng other factor into our analysis na mag-a-accumulate para sa mga error na hindi na-account ng ating mga data. And in experimental design, yan yung error control. So meron tayong different types of experimental designs. Ang pinaka-basic dyan is si complete randomized design or si CRD, wherein yung treatments are randomly assigned to all experimental units. So dito, isang factor lang yung tinetest natin. Like for example, type of fertilizer. So for example, meron tayong 3 types of fertilizer, yun lang yung factor na magkukos ng variability among our experimental units. Kaya isang factor or siya yung pinakasimpleng design. So, ang model natin for complete randomized design is ito. So, y sub I is equals to mu plus tau I plus d error term. So dahil isang factor lang yung kinukonsider natin dito sa CRD, kailangan nating i-assure na yung experimental unit natin ay homogeneous. Pare-parehas dapat siya ng characteristic kasi wala dapat mag-a-account ng other variability aside from the treatments that we are testing. Kaya siya yung pinakasimpleng design. Next is we have the randomized complete block design or the RCBD. So dito sa RCBD, yung units are grouped into block that are relatively homogeneous and treatments are randomized within each block. So papasok na dito yung other factor para i-group yung ating experimental unit into more homogeneous groups na tinatawag nating blockings. So sa ating model, ang mag-a-account para sa blocks, kung mapapansin nyo, based dito sa ating model dito sa CRD, ang nadagdag is si beta J. And si beta J yung mag-a-account sa blocking effects ng ating analysis. Like for example, testing fertilizer with blocks as different soils type. Doon sa taas sa CRD ay testing different fertilizers lang on identical plots of land. So, doon sa RCBD, nag-add tayo ng different soil types para maging blockings. So, 2 factors na yung tinetest natin. Next is we have the factorial design. It involves 2 or more factors studied simultaneously. Like for example, meron tayong 2-factor factorial or meron tayong tinatawag na CRD factorial at RCBD factorial. Ang nadagdag lang naman dito is kapag meron ka pang other factor na gusto pang idagdag doon sa experiment. So, ano lang yan, pahaba lang ng pahaba o pahirap ng pahirap yung experiment. Pero ang main feature ni factorial design is hindi lang siya nag-a-account for the main effect but also ang interest din natin yung interaction effect. Like for example, ang 2 factors na tinitest natin is yung type ng fertilizer at saka yung irrigation level. So hindi lang effect ng fertilizer at ng irrigation ang ititest natin kundi pati yung interaction nilang dalawa. Kasi kung mapapansin nyo dun sa previous design, kay CRD, isang factor lang. Kay RCBD, 2 factors pero hindi i-account yung interaction. So dito yan papasok kay factorial design. So pwede to for more than 2 factors. For example, gusto mo ng 3 factors. So meron kang interaction ng 3 factors. So for example, 3 factors A, B, and C. So meron kang ilang interaction. Yung experiment. Ang pasensya na nalolost yung connection. Humihina yung internet. So meron pa mga other designs. Pero ito medyo mahihirap na yung mga medyo complicated na yung modeling and designs ng mga experiments na to, like yung split plot design wherein some factors applied to large plot, others to subplots. Meron naman tayong tinatawag na repeated measures design wherein yung same units measures ay nire-repeat mo over time under different conditions. Ito yung mga ino-observe mo ng same experiment na ino-observe mo, for example, week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. And then crossover design. Dito naman, each experimental unit receives multiple treatments in a sequence. Commonly used siya sa mga clinical trials. And then fractional factorial design, wherein only a subject of treatment combinations is tested, and confounded and incomplete block designs, useful naman siya when it's not possible to include all treatments in a block. So dito ang na-include ko lang is CRD, RCBD, factorial at saka repeated measures. Yung other design, ang pwede pong mag-consult na lang sa statistician. Medyo mahirap na ang kanyang layout or experimental theory behind. And pati yung pagraran kasi, medyo complicated na. Okay, so sa pag-a-analyze ng experimental designs, ang main tool na ginagamit natin is si ANOVA or si analysis of variance. So ang decomposition ng ating ANOVA ay nahahati dito sa itong important components na to. So una is we have the treatment or effect of interest, blocks if any, or applicable lang siya kapag meron tayong RCBD, and then random error. Yung treatments, kapag gumamit ka ng factorial design, nadadagdagan lang naman yan. So you have treatments 1 and 2 for the main effect, and then another effect for interaction. So ang ating null hypothesis for ANOVA is palaging ganito. Tau 1 is equals to tau 2 equals to tau t equals to 0. So ibig sabihin walang significant differences among our treatments. Papalitan nyo lang kung ilan treatments yung gusto nyong itest. For example, kapag 3 treatments lang, edi ang HO natin ay so tau 1 is equals to tau 2 equals to tau 3 equals to 0. So kapag 5 treatments, so 5 tau yung itetest. So ang alternative hypothesis natin for analysis of variance is at least 2 means are not equal. Or ibig sabihin lang yan, HO, there is no significant difference. Tapos yung HA, there is significant difference. So syempre, ang ANOVA ay statistical inference na test. So meron tayong different assumptions. Una dyan is yung independence of errors. Or dapat yung residuals natin from one observation should not depend or influenced by the other observation. Or the outcome of one experimental unit should be independent of another. So paano natin chine-check yung independence ng error? So una, dapat i-ensure natin na random ang pagsiselect natin ng sample or experimental unit per each treatment. Pwede rin nating tingnan yung pattern ng ating residuals using autocorrelation plots. And then kapag violated siya, ang kino-consider nating alternative, ang pwede nating i-consider na alternative ay itong si mixed model or si repeated measures design. Pero once naman na na-consider mo na ang proper randomization sa experiment, hindi naman natin mababiolate itong independence ni error. Kaya ang unang-unang tinitingnan talaga or sinusure para ma-check kung violated yung assumption na to, lalo na pag nagpa-consult kayo sa statistician, ang unang itatanong sa inyo is paano kayo nag-randomize or nag-select ng samples or experimental unit for each treatment. Next is the normality of errors. So dito, take note na ang iba dun dito sa analysis of variance or sa experimental designs, it has model. Diba kanina pinakita ko yung different models for CRT, RCBD. So kung mapapansin nyo, based pa lang dito sa independence, ang tinitingnan ay independence ng error. Tapos dito sa normality, hindi na yung mismong variables yung chine-check natin for normality, unlike what we did with the previous analysis in t-test. T-test for one population mean and then t-test for two populations. Dito ang itetest natin for normality ay errors o mga residuals. Ang i-check natin dapat yung residuals ng ating model ay normally distributed with mean 0 and variance 1. And in analysis of variance, ang ginagamit nating test ay F-test. And confidence interval rely on normality, especially when the sample sizes are small. Kahit na residuals or error, ang itetest natin for normality, same lang naman ng procedure sa ginawa natin before ang mga tools na gagamitin. So for graphical check, ang gagamitin pa rin natin ay si histogram at si QQ-plot. Pero again, hindi yung original dataset ang itetest natin, kundi ang residuals. And then for formal statistical test, si Shapiro-Wilk test, pwede rin si Kolmogorov. Pero based on my previous example, si Shapiro yung ginamit ko kasi out of all the test for normality, si Shapiro ang most powerful. And then if violated yung assumption ng normality, again, we can explore the data through transformation like log, square root, or Box-Cox transformation. And then again, if hindi nag-success sa kahit na anumang transformation methods na yan, then we can use its non-parametric counterpart like Kruskal-Wallis. Pero si Kruskal-Wallis ay non-parametric counterpart lang ng CRD. So in this discussion, isasama natin yung iba pang non-parametric counterpart ng different experimental design. Okay, next is the homogeneity of variances. So again, variances of responses are the same across all treatment groups to assure the homogeneity or homoscedasticity of variances. Kasi if one group has much higher variability, yung ANOVA F-test may give wrong conclusions. So again, we have different tools to check the homogeneity of variance. So using graphical, we have the residuals versus fitted plots. And then for statistical tests, same test ginawa natin before using Levin's test. Pwede rin si Bartlett's test. And then if violated, pwede tayong mag-transform or gumamit ng Welch, ANOVA, or yung generalized linear models or GLMs. So again, tatlo ang ating ititingnan na assumption. Pero yung una, yung independence, ano lang yan, i-ensure lang natin na randomly selected ang sample. Sa normality, histogram, QQ-plot at saka Shapiro. Pero residuals ang itetest natin. And then next is the homogeneity of variance using Levin's test. Lahat yan is ipe-perform natin using R. Okay, so let's start on the most basic design, which is the complete randomized design. So, again, CRD is an extension of testing the difference between two population means. So, in CRD, we are testing the null hypothesis that several population means are all equal against the alternative hypothesis that at least two of these population means are not equal. Kaya ang HO lang natin for CRD is ito. mu1 is equals to mu2 up to mu-t. So kung ilang treatments ang itetest. And then HA, at least two means are not equal. So kung meron kang tatlong treatments na itetest, so ang HO mo ay mu1 is equals to mu2 equals to mu3. Tapos HA, at least two means are not equal. Basically, ang ibig sabihin lang naman yan, ang HOI without significant difference at ang HAI with significant difference. So again, ito yung most basic of all experimental designs kasi in manual computation, siya yung pinakamadaling i-compute. So it is a design where the treatments are randomly arranged over the experimental units without any restriction imposed on the units, and there is only one criterion for data clarification. But take note that it requires the use of experimental unit that are sufficiently homogeneous. Kung palaka, lahat ay palaka, same size, same type, and etc. Homogeneous dapat, uniform ang characteristic. So, ang advantage ng CRD, una, pinaka-easy siyang i-layout. So, each treatment must be replicated at least twice. And then it has the simplest statistical analysis among all experimental designs. And sa CRD, it allows for an equal number of replications without complicating the analysis. So, ang restriction lang niya or disadvantage, most of the time kasi, nahihirapan tayong humanap ng homogeneous na experimental units. Yung talagang perfect o same lahat yung characteristic ng experimental units. Most of the time, merong other factors talaga na hinahati yung ating experimental units into other factors. And this design is usually done in laboratory. Kasi outside laboratory, mahirap i-control yung other factors na mag-a-affect sa homogeneity ng ating experimental units. So next is the randomization and layout of the CRD. So for example, consider an experiment with N experimental units and T treatments. So the N experimental units are homogeneous. So the layout of the experiment is done as follows. So for example, meron tayong N is equals to 15 and meron tayong tatlong treatments. So for example, meron tayong 15. So for example, meron tayong 15 na experimental unit. So paano ka mag-a-assign ng treatment? Dapat random. For example, hindi porket magkakatabi, ito na agad si treatment 1, treatment 1, treatment 1. So, hindi dapat ganun. Dapat random. Kung kaya nyo ng simple random sampling, systematic, stratified, or cluster, pwede. Basta using probability sampling. Dapat well-scattered. Treatment 1. Dito random. Ina-assign ko lang po. Pero dapat random yung selection. At saka dito sa CRD, pwedeng unequal yung number of replicates. Pwedeng sa treatment 1, pwedeng equal, pwedeng tagpa 5. Pero pwede ring 6, 4, 5. Pwedeng unequal. Basta at least 2 dapat yung replicates. Kasi again, ang tinitest ni CRD is yung variability. Kaya kung walang variability yung isang treatment, wala siyang iti-test. So again, ito yung linear model natin for CRD. So we have y sub ij is equals to mu plus tau I plus DEIJ. So I is for the treatments and j is for the ith treatment na ina-apply natin for every replicates. Mu is the true mean, Tau sub I is the ith treatment effect. And then si EIJ is the error associated with the jth observation. So again, si Y dapat siya ay continuous variable. Tapos ito ay factor or categorical variable. So ito yung ating ANOVA table. So ito yung pag manual computation mo, medyo mahaba ang computations, ang process. So for the source of variation, so we have the treatment and the error and total. And then ang degrees of freedom ni treatment is t minus 1, wherein yung t is the number of treatment. And then for the degrees of freedom ng error, so we have n minus t and total n minus 1. For the sum of squares, so we have sum of squares for treatment and then sum of squares for error and total sum of squares. And then for mean squares, so we have mean square treatment for treatment and mean square for error. And then yung F computed natin or F value is just equal to the ratio of the MS treatment and MS error. So if we will be making decisions based on the F value, so we will compare this using the F tab. So in here, we will be using the F table. Kaso ang F table ay merong different F table for different level of significance. And using F computed, our decision rule is to reject HO if itong F computed na to is greater than dito sa F tab. But in this case, dahil gagamit naman tayo ng software, hindi na natin i-base dyan. I-base na lang natin siya using fee value method and same decision rule. I-reject si HO if yung p value is less than or equal to alpha. Okay, so in R, we can perform analysis of variance using AOV function. So ang command is ganito lang. So AOV, and then close and open parenthesis, then response variable, tilde, and then yung factor, and then the dataset. Yung response is yung dependent variable natin. Dapat numeric outcome, continuous. And then yung factors, siya ay independent variable, either treatment, blocks, and etc. Dapat siya ay categorical. And then yung data is just our dataset in R. Okay, so for example, so the data below shows the dried weight of 3 groups of 5 batches of plants, where each group of 5 batches received a different treatment. So determine whether there is significant difference in the mean plant growth measured by weight of batches between the 3 groups. So again, we have the 3 groups. Ito yon. So we have the control. So ito yung ating group 1. Treatment 2 is, group 2 is the treatment 1. And then group 3 is the treatment 2. So assume that the plant growth is normally distributed and that the variances is the same for all 3 treatments. Pero pwede pa rin nating i-test. So use 0.05 level of significance to test the claim. So yung design ng experiment na to, kung mapapansin nyo, so meron tayong ilang replicates. So R1, R2, R3, R4, and R5. So equal yung allocation or yung replications nitong ating experiment na to. At kada isang treatment, meron siyang tagpa 5 na replicates. So paano natin siya i-run sa R? So I think lahat naman marunong ng magbasa ng codes. Kaya hindi ko na siya i-run. Pag may time, pwede ko pa siyang i-run dyan. Base na lang tayo dito sa nilagay ko sa PowerPoint para hindi na palipat-lipat. Pero sisendan ko pa rin kayo ng R script para pwede nyong i-run sa mga PC nyo kapag during your vacant time. So, paano ko in-encode itong data? So, ito yung data natin. So, pinangalanan kong plant weight, yung ating variable. Ito. So, same pa rin. Dapat nasa C function pa rin yung gagamitin natin sa pag-input ng data. Kaso, ganito yung arrangement na ginawa ko. Itong first row na to, ito yung data natin sa control. Tama, di ba? 4.17, 5.58, 5.18, 18, 6.11, and then 4.5. Don't forget the comma. So, next row, nilagay ko yung data for treatment 1. And then for the third row, nilagay ko yung data for treatment 2. Take note na iisang data set pa rin yan kasi nakapaloob siya sa iisang parenthesis. So, ang pangalan ng isang data set na yan is plant weight kasi ang tinitingnan natin dito is, di ba, weight. Though name lang naman yan. And then, yung next na variable na nilagay ko is yung treatment. Kaso si R kasi is case sensitive. Kaya in-specify ko na ito ay treatment for our CRD example number 1. Kasi baka iba ang treatments na gagamitin sa example number 2. Kaya ito, take note na ito ay pangalan lang na inassign ko dito sa data na to. So, anong ibig sabihin yan? Paano yan basahin? Ibig sabihin yan, itong si 4.17, di ba ito yon? So, ito yon, siya ay nasa control group. Si 5.58, ito yon. So, siya ay nasa control group. So, 5 yan na C. Don't forget na lagyan ng quotation mark dahil, again, itong factor na to ay, or yung factor na kasama sa ating ANOVA, siya ay categorical. So, dapat pag in-encode mo kay R, naka-close sa quotation mark. And then next, itong si 4.81, diba siya ay nasa treatment 1. And then si 6.31, siya ay nasa treatment 2. So tagpa 5 yan. So ibig sabihin, ina-assignan ko lang ng treatment yung bawat continuous variable na nilalagay ko dyan. Tapos, run. Gagawa kayo ng isang data frame na nakapaloob itong dalawang variables na yon. Ang pinangalan ko ay plant weight data frame. So, gagamit lang kayo ng data frame na function and then open and close parenthesis and then yung dalawang variables na ito. Ganun lang. So, ibig sabihin, meron na akong isang data frame na ang pangalan ay plant weight DF. Nasundan po ba? Okay, next. Ang una kong in-explore sa pagra-run is yung descriptive statistics ng data. So, kinompute ko lang yung minimum, maximum, mean at saka standard deviation. So, diniscuss na natin to sa descriptive. Ang ginamit kong function is tapply and then tapply ng plant weight from the plant weight data frame and then per treatment. Kaya ang output ay ito yung minimum ni control 4.17. Ang minimum ni treatment 1 is 3.59. Tapos ang minimum ni treatment 2 is 5.12. So, copy-paste lang to. Pinapalitan ko lang kung ano yung measure na dito sa dulo ng codes. Next, kung kinuha is si maximum, ito yung output. Ang maximum ni control is 6.11. Treatment 1, 5.87. Treatment 2, 8.5. Tapos, kinuha ko rin yung mean. Ang mean ni control is 5.1. Ni treatment 1 is 4.57 and then treatment 2, 6.77. Tapos, ito naman yung standard deviation. So, based on the mean, tingnan natin yung mean. Parang meron naman siyang lumalabas na significant. Mukhang meron, hindi significant kasi di pa tayo nagtitest. Mukhang meron siyang difference. At meron silang difference na 1 point based on the mean. So now, para mas patunayan kung meron tayong enough evidence to say na meron talaga silang significant difference, kaya tayo magpe-perform ng ANOVA test. Ang isang helpful din na visualizations para sa ganitong klase ng analysis is si box plot. So dito, gumawa lang ako ng box plot ng plant weight by treatment. Kaya meron akong box plot for control, treatment 1, and then for treatment 2. Itong mean is yung pangalan lang ng ating box plot. Tapos itong X lab, ito lang yan. And then Y lab, ito. So, using the box plot, makikita natin yung symmetry, itsura ng distribution ng ating data for treatment. So, kung ma-observe natin, dun sa treatment 1, merong observation na outside na ng ating box plot. At ang tawag sa mga ganito ay mga suspected outliers. So ngayon, titingnan natin kung yung mga ganitong klase ng observation is malaki ba yung impact doon sa ating analysis. Kaya maganda rin po na maganda na mag-i-start tayo ng yung analysis, mag-i-start pa rin talaga sa pag-aaral natin dun sa descriptive characteristics ng ating data. Yung mga basic na numerical summary measures naman na ine-explore natin sa data natin is ito lang naman, 4 na to most of the time, yung minimum, maximum, mean, and standard deviation. Tapos again nga, kapag mga experimental design, usually ang ginagamit namin is si box plot para i-describe yung itsura or symmetry ng dataset. Okay, next is 6 steps pa rin para parehas lang nung ginawa nating analysis before. Kasi part pa rin naman ang experimental design ng hypothesis testing. So, kukumpletuhin ko ulit yung 6 steps. So, step 1 is state the null and alternative hypothesis. So, since meron tayong 3 means na tinetest, si control, si treatment 1, at saka si treatment 2, kaya ang HO natin is mu1 equals to mu2 equals to mu3. Ibig sabihin yan is there is no significant difference among the 3 treatments when it comes to the plant weight. And then HA, at least 2 means are not equal. So, ibig sabihin lang yan ay there is significant difference sa plant weight nung 3 different treatments. And then dahil i-run naman natin siya in R, so pwedeng na tayong mag-base using the p-value method. And our decision rule is to reject HO if yung p-value na mako-compute ni R is less than or equal to our alpha na 0.05. Okay, next. So magpe-perform na tayo ng CRD using R. So, again, ang function na gagamitan natin sa pag-run ng CRD is yung AOB na function. So ito yung pangalan ng dalawang variables ko kanina. So si plant weight, and then ititilde nyo lang siya dun sa categorical na variable which is the treatment. And then add another arguments inside the parenthesis which is the data. Then ipapasok nyo yung pangalan ng data frame natin which is the plant underscore weight.df. Then pinangalanan ko itong analysis ko na to na plant weight ANOVA para mas madali lang mag-recall later. Para yung pangalan lang ng analysis na yung ipapasok ko sa ibang analysis, sa ibang mga function na i-run ko later. And then para ma-view nyo yung output nitong ANOVA na to, gagamit tayo ng summary function and then ipapasok nyo under summary function itong pangalan ng ating ANOVA, si plant underscore weight.ANOVA. So pag nag-success yan, ito yung output na lalabas. So, ito na yung agad yung i-show agad ni R yung complete na ANOVA table. Yung pinakita ko sa inyo kanina. Pag kinompute yun mano-mano, matagal yun. So, ngayon, isang bagsakan lang using software. So, ito yung ANOVA. So, ito na yung degrees of freedom, sum of squares, mean square, and then F value if we will be making decision using F value and F critical value. Pero now, ang focus na lang natin is dito sa P value. So based on the results ni ANOVA, ang P value natin is 0.0246. Ang maganda dito, may asterisk siya. May palatandaan kung ang test ba ay significant. So 1 star siya, so ibig sabihin significant siya starting at alpha equals to 0.01. Pero kailangan pa nating i-assess if appropriate ba talaga na gamitin ang CRD for this dataset. Kaya kailangan nating tingnan if may na-violate ba siya na assumption. Una, yung titingnan is diba yung independence. Again, tinitingnan lang yon kung paano dinidistribute yung data, kung random ba siya. And based on the scenario, yung pag-allocate naman ng experimental unit for each treatment ay random, kaya okay na yun. Hindi na natin na-violate yung independence assumption. Ito yung isang focus natin, yung normality of errors. So, same rin naman ng kagaya ng ginawa natin sa mga previous analysis. Ang gagamitin natin is si QQ-plot at saka si Shapiro-Wilk test. Kaso dito, ang gagamitin natin na value para gumawa ng QQ-plot is itong si residuals. So, ito. Iko-call out nyo yung residuals nitong kinreate nating ANOVA. So, QQ norm ni residuals, tapos nilagyan ko lang din ng QQ line. So, ito yung output. So, based on the QQ plot, almost, yung observations natin is malapit dito sa line. So, we can assume na hindi naman violated ang assumption. Kaso ang hirap mag-test kapag ka-subjective lang based on the graphs, di ba? Kaya mas maganda, lagyan talaga natin ng formal test using the Shapiro-Wilk test. So based on the result, so Shapiro.test lang din, pero again, residuals ang gagamitin. And then again, yung ANOVA. So based on the results of the Shapiro-Wilk test, ang p-value natin is 0.6550. So ano ba yung decision natin dyan? Reject or failed to reject HO? So tandaan natin na for Shapiro-Wilk test, ang HO natin dyan ay normal, tapos ang HA natin ay not normal. Tapos again, ang decision rule natin ay reject HO if p-value is less than or equal to alpha. So in this case, 0.05. Ang p-value natin ay 0.6552. Less than ba siya sa 0.05? O di ba po hindi? Kaya ibig sabihin, ang decision natin ay failed to reject HO. So dahil failed to reject si HO, so ibig sabihin, ang data natin ay normally distributed. So hindi na violate ang assumption ng normality. Okay, next is si homogeneity of variance. So ang ginamit ko na lang dito sa pag-perform ng homogeneity of variance ay si Levin's test. Si Levin's test ay under kay CAR na library. Kaya kung wala kayong CAR na library, kailangan yung mag-install ng CAR using install.packages na function. Tapos CAR. So automatic kapag may internet, mag-i-install si CAR. Tapos i-call out nyo lang siya using library na function. And then makakapag-perform na kayo ng Levin's test under Levin test na function. Then sa pag-perform ng Levin test, kailangan nyo lang ay under the parenthesis is si plant weight, tapos tilde, treatment, tapos data. So ang result is ganito siya. So ang p-value natin is 0.2469. Ang HO naman natin kapag magpe-perform tayo ng Levin's test ay HO variances are equal versus HA Kaya ang decision natin ay failed to reject HO. So dahil failed to reject HO, so ibig sabihin variances are equal. So ibig sabihin hindi natin na-violate yung assumption ni normality at ni homogeneity of variance, kaya yung result ni one-way ANOVA is reliable. So appropriate yung test na ginamit natin. Pero for example, na-violate yung assumption ng normality, doon mag-e-explore na tayo ng non-parametric na counterpart. Pero kapag ang na-violate lang ay si homogeneity of variance, gagamit lang tayo ng different na test under ANOVA. So ang pinaka-importante na kailangan hindi natin ma-violate dito ay si normality. So again, based on the result ng ANOVA, call out lang natin. So ito yung ANOVA natin. Ang p-value natin is 0.0246. So ibig sabihin, di ba kanina ang HO natin sa ANOVA ay mu1 is equals to mu2 equals to mu3 versus HA, at least two means are not equal. Tapos reject HO if p-value is less than or equal to alpha. Ang p-value natin ay 0.0246. Di ba mas mababa siya kay 0.05. Kaya ang decision natin ay i-reject si HO. So dahil reject si HO, ibig sabihin at least two means ay hindi equal yung effect. So ang tanong natin dyan ngayon, sino ang mga means na equal at hindi. Of means or post hoc test. Kapag na-reject nyo si HO. Pero kapag hindi na-reject si HO, kasi di ba pag hindi na-reject si HO, so ibig sabihin, mu1 mo is equals to mu2, equals to mu3, equals to mu4. So wala ka nang kailangan pang i-test kung aling mga means ang equal at hindi. Kasi equal na siya lahat. Kaya magkakaroon lang ng continuation analysis kapag
Maulan po kasi po. Hindi naman.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, so again po, ito yung mga important remarks. So, if normality is violated, so the ANOVA results may not be reliable. So, pwede tayong mag-transform ng data o gumamit ng non-parametric test. So, ang non-parametric counterpart ni Okay, so pasensya na. Okay. So again, if na-violate yung assumption na normality, so ang non-parametric counterpart natin ay si Kruskal-Wallis. And if na-violate yung assumption ng homogeneity of variance, pwede tayong, ibig sabihin, hindi lang natin pwede gamitin si standard ANOVA sa R. So gagamit tayo ng Welch ANOVA. May idadagdag lang tayo doon sa ordinary na function. And then violation of independence cannot be corrected statistically. Kaya kailangan talagang i-assure natin yung randomization ng ating experimental unit. Kasi kapag na-violate natin yung assumption ng independence, hindi na appropriate si CRD and we will be using different design depending on kung paano nyo ba ni-randomize ang experimental unit. So in CRD with ANOVA, if you're hindi pa doon natatapos. Kasi kapag sinabi natin pag sinabi natin at least two means are not equal, kailangan natin ngayon alamin kung aling mga treatment combinations ang significantly deeper at hindi. Diyan nga papasok itong si post hoc test or si multiple comparisons of means test. So, meron tayong different methods or test for post hoc. So, una dyan si LSD or si Least Significant Difference Test. Siya yung pinaka-simple pairwise comparisons using t-test logic. Another is si Tukey's HSD or Honestly Significant Difference. Dito naman, it controls family-wise error rate and very common. Meron din tayong ibang test like Bonferroni, Shippey's test, and then Danet's test kapag gusto mong i-compare yung several treatment against a single control group. At yung the rest, si LSD, si Tukey, si Bonferroni, at saka si Shippey, i-compare niya all combinations. Si Danet, i-compare niya lang over the control. Kapag ang interest mo lang is i-compare lahat ng control, lahat ng treatment versus control, si Danets. Pero pag lahat ng combinations, kahit alin dyan, si LSD, Tukey, Bonferroni, or si Shippey. Pero ang pinaka-common na test dyan ay si Tukey's. And I think ang in-explore ko lang dito sa PowerPoint ko today is si Tukey's lang. But I can provide you the function also for different test. Okay, so let's try Tukey's HSD dito sa ating example. Since ang naging result natin ay at least two means are not equal. So ang function lang is Tukey HSD, and then inside that function is again yung ating plant weight ANOVA. Kaya mahalaga kanina na pinangalanan natin yung ANOVA ng plant height. Kasi yun nga lang yung i-call out natin for the rest of the functions na gagawin sa data. So pag niran nyo yan, ganito yung output. Ibig sabihin lang yan, di ba meron tayong tatlong treatments. Meron tayong control, treatment 1, at saka treatment 2. So, i-compare niya lahat ng combinations. Ilang combinations ba ang meron tayo kapag meron tayong tatlong treatment? Pairs So, ibig sabihin pwede nating i-compare si control versus treatment 1, and then si control versus treatment 2 versus treatment 2. So, meron tayong 3 combinations. So, ito lahat yan. Ito yung si treatment 1 versus control. So, let's see or evaluate the different scenarios. So, for our case 1, i-compare natin si treatment 1 versus control. Yan. So, ang HO natin dyan, mu1 is equals to mu2. Ibig sabihin, no significant difference. And then, HA mu1 is not equal to mu2 with significant difference. So, magbe-base lang din tayo sa p-value. Kaya, ang decision rule natin is reject HO if p-value is less than or equal to alpha. So, ang kino-compare natin is si treatment 1 at saka si treatment 2. Kaya, ang p-value natin ay ito. So, ang p-value natin is 0.7380 4696. Hindi siya less than sa ating alpha na 0.05. Kaya ang decision natin ay failed to reject HO. So anong ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin, yung effect ni treatment 1 at saka ni control ay na Okay, so next combination tayo. Treatment 2 versus control. So same hypothesis, mu1 is equals to mu2 and then mu1 is not equal to mu2. So ang p-value natin in this case is 0.09, which is hindi siya less than kay alpha na 0.05. Kaya ang decision din natin ay failed to reject HO. Therefore, si treatment 2 at saka si control ay hindi rin significant different yung effect. Last, si treatment 2 versus treatment 1. So ang p-value niya is 0.02, which is less than, di ba, sa 0.05. Kaya ang decision natin dyan is to reject HO. So, ibig sabihin, yung effect ni treatment 2 at saka ni treatment 1 ay significantly different. So, kung isa-summarize natin, si control versus treatment 1, control versus treatment 2, and then treatment 1 versus treatment 2, ito ay not significant, tapos ang significant lang ay dito kay treatment 1 at saka kay treatment 2. Pero again, kapag ka dun pa lang sa ANOVA, ang conclusion mo na ay no significant difference, hindi mo na kailangang i-perform itong multiple comparisons of means test. Ng post-hoc, napatunayan natin na itong dalawang to equal, tas mayroon palang isang treatment, isang combination of treatments na significant yung effect. So, yan ang CRD design. Nasusundan pa? Any reaction kung nasusundan? Ayan, okay pa. Kasi simple pa lang naman tong design natin. Okay, another example. So, a fisheries researcher wants to test whether different feeds, so meron tayong tatlong feeds, A, B, and C, kung meron siyang significantly difference na effect sa weight gain in grams ng ating tilapia. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong tatlong treatments. Feed A, B, and C. So, pinangalanan ko yung data natin ng weight gain. So, ito siya. Ito yung data natin for feed A. Then, ito yung data for feed B. Then, ito yung data for feed C. Tapos, ito yung A. Tapos, second row is for B. And then, for feed C yung third row. Then, ang pinangalan ko sa data frame ay weightgain.df. And then, pinaloob ko yung dalawang variables under the data frame function. So, ang pangalan na ng variables natin ngayon ay weight gain at saka feed. Tapos, ang data frame ay weight_gain.df. So, for descriptive statistics, kinompute ko lang ulit yung mean, minimum, maximum, mean, and standard Ayan. And back. Tapos, nag-create lang din ako ng box plot. So, ito yung ating box plot. So, kung makikita rin natin based on the box plot, ito yung box plot ni A, B, and then C. Malaki yung discrepancy rin when it comes to the distribution of the data based on the box plot. Pero again, ang gusto nating makita is hindi Okay, so I'm back. Wala, nawawala talaga. Yan, yan, yan. Okay, going back to example number 2. Saan na yun? So again, meron tayong 3 different feeds na tinetest. Kung meron significant difference sa weight gain ng tilapia. So we're done with the descriptives. So again, for our null hypothesis for the CRD design, so our null hypothesis is mu1 is equals to mu2 equals to mu3. Mu2. Dahil meron tayong 3 different groups na tinetest. Ibig sabihin lang yan, there is no significant difference sa weight ng tilapia using the 3 different feeds. And then for each A, at least 2 means are not equal. And then same decision rule, reject each O if p-value is less than or equal to ay weight gain df. And then, ang p-value ng ANOVA natin is 0.0302, which is less than, di ba, sa 0.05. Kaya ang decision natin dito ngayon ay reject HO. Pero ngayon, itetest natin kung appropriate ba itong analysis natin na CRD. So, una, i-check natin yung normality ng errors. Again, using QQ plot. So, ito yung QQ plot. So, mukhang may mga points na sobrang layo sa ating line. Kaya mukhang ang data natin, based on the QQ plot, hindi siya normal. And to formally test the normality, using Shapiro-Wilk test, ang p-value na nakuha natin is 0.03, which is mas mababa sa alpha natin na 0.05, kaya reject HO. Eh again, ang HO natin ay normal versus HA not normal. E-reject HO. So, ibig sabihin, ang data natin ay hindi normally distributed. Kaya hindi appropriate ang CRD. Okay. For the homogeneity of variance using Levin's test, ang nakuha nating p-value is 0.1871. Again, for Levin's test, ang HO natin ay variances are equal Ano, pasensya na. Yan, sana okay na siya. Saan na ba ako? Ayan. Okay, so balikan ko lang tong, hindi ko alam kung na internet kanina. Pasensya na. Okay. So again, si Cruz Calvalis ay non-parametric alternative assumption ng normality. So it works with ordinal or continuous data that are not normally distributed. So, sa hypothesis nga lang, nakapokus na tayo sa median instead of the means. Yun lang yung mababago. But basically the same. Bumalik na. Cases, so si Kruskal that test. Sana mayari ko lang si Kruskal test man lang. Kahit mayari ko lang po si Kruskal. Okay. So, again, gagamit tayo ng Kruskal dot test. Okay. So, ang p-value ni Kruskal-Wallis is 0.012, which is less than sa alpha natin na 0.05. So, ibig sabihin, isa-summarize natin ang results ni Kruskal-Wallis. So, yung p-value na na-compute using R is less than sa alpha natin na 0.05. So, ang decision natin is to reject HO. So, ibig sabihin, at least one group has different distribution or median. So, magpo-proceed tayo sa post hoc. Ang tanong, meron bang post hoc ang Kruskal-Wallis? Yung ginamit natin na kanina na two keys ay applicable lang for CRD design. So, meron din po siyang post hoc test. So, dito, ang in-explore ko na post hoc test for Kruskal-Wallis ay si Dan test. So, si Dan test ay under sa FSA na function. So, kung wala pa kayong FSA na function, so install nyo siya using install.packages, then FSA, and then load nyo yung library ni FSA kapag successful na ang installation. And then, under the library FSA, gagamit tayo ng Dan test na function. So, Dan test, and then weight gain, feed, and then yung data. Tapos, method natin ay Bonferroni. So, ito yung results ng ating ng significant difference si um, feed A at saka si feed B. So, pag kinompare naman natin si feed A at saka si feed C, ang p-value niya is 0.009, which is less than, di ba, sa alpha natin na 0.05. So, ibig sabihin, reject HO. So, ibig sabihin, may significant difference yung effect ni feed A at saka ni feed talk or multiple comparisons of means test. Ang difference nga lang nila, mas less lang yung power ng non-parametric test. Pero at least naman, kapag na-violate yung assumption, hindi yung abandon the data, pa rin tayo ma-explore na non-parametric na counterpart. So, yun po yung sa may CRD design or one factor na
Hindi na. Sige, for the meantime, yan na lang muna at hindi na kinakaya ng internet. Nakakahilo na siya, pabalik-balik na lang. Sana na intindihan. Isang test pa lang, no? Sayang. Pero hindi nga na talaga kinakaya ang internet. Siguro po nagka-problema yung aming connection. So, yun na lang po muna today. Pasensya na. Hindi na rin kayo mag-open ng camera.